How's it going, guys? Dustin at Daily Grind Fantasy, and in today's video, we're going to be building out two correlated college football slips. One for Friday night, Washington versus Oregon, and then we're going to give you guys a Saturday slip as well, Michigan versus Iowa. Before we get into the video, though, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button while we are at it, because it really does help us out. We would appreciate it. Now, let's go ahead, pop over to the Daily Grind Fantasy website where you guys are looking at the correlation tool, and you guys can see the tracked correlation performance for all the slips that we post here up on the correlation tool, or that our tool, scrapes the market for. Because what this does is it scrapes the DFS apps to find the most positively correlated slips by looking at what's maybe plus EV, what has good sportsbooks odds, what's very correlated in general. And then spits you guys out full slips to be able to tail across NFL, college football, NBA, CSGO, and looking to add some more sports here soon. But before we jump into that, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys last night, Thursday night football. The correlation tool absolutely crushed, guys. I mean, basically every single slip given for this game cashed out on whatever platform you're probably playing on. We gave out a few of these for free as well. I did a YouTube video right here on this channel that you're watching with the PrizePicks slip that hit. I know TJ had given out the Underdog slip that hit via email. If you guys want to go ahead and receive some newsletter where you get some free picks, you get some educational info, you guys can put your email into the website at Daily Grind Fantasy, or you go linked in the description. You guys can go ahead and get access to all of our tools, or just go ahead and put your email, and you guys can get access to the newsletter that comes out to you throughout the day. And yeah, here's the correlation tool, right? So you can get access to that, linked in the description. And then also we have our optimizer here that gives you guys plus EV plays, where we pull all the sportsbook data into one place for you guys to be able to compare directly back to PrizePicks. So let's say Dawson Mercer, for instance, right now, we have 4 sportsbooks. All of them have the same line as PrizePicks at 0.5 player points, and this is NHL play. So they all have the same number, right? But so there's no discrepancy in the line. But for the odds, there's average odds of minus 142 for Dawson to go over. So therefore, these sportsbooks are telling you this has a favorable chance at about a 54.74% chance to go over, right? Via the sportsbooks, what they're projecting. You get to play this in a 5 or 6 man flex at minus 119 odds on PrizePicks, right? So you're getting a better bang for your buck playing it on PrizePicks as opposed to playing it on the sportsbooks. So there's an edge there on this play. And obviously you can trust it because you have 4 sports books that are telling you this has a very good chance to hit. So something like that is how it works. If you guys don't know about plus EV betting, we have plenty of educational videos right here on the YouTube channel. You guys can go ahead and check out. Very, very useful tool for plus EV betting, and highly suggest it. But the correlation tool, very simple to use, gives you full slips. You plug and play them. So if that's more your pace, you guys can get access to that if you would like. But let's go ahead, pop back over to the correlation tool, start talking about these slips. I'm going to go ahead and sort the correlation tool via college football, and we're going to go ahead and snag some of these slips. So let's go ahead and actually just do this. Michigan, Iowa, and then Washington, Oregon. So if you guys are watching this today, Friday, you guys can go ahead, get the Washington, Oregon slip in. If you guys are going to be watching this on Saturday, you guys can go over to the Michigan, Iowa slip, fast forward a little bit to the Michigan, Iowa slip and get that in. But I'm going to go ahead and give out Washington, Oregon. This is going to come on Underdog. The Michigan, Iowa slip is going to be on PrizePicks. If you don't have both of these apps, highly suggest getting both of them. You can use code DGF to sign up. You'll get 100% deposit match up to $100. Let's go ahead and talk about Washington, Oregon. But first, I want to talk about why this is such a big edge playing these positively correlated slips on apps like PrizePicks and Underdog, right? If you guys don't know about positive correlation is where if X happens, Y and Z are also likely to happen. So on the very surface level of correlation would be like if a quarterback is to go over passing yards, it's likely that his top 2 wide receivers are going to go over receiving yards as well, right? Because if he's going over, he's got to throw it to somebody. More than likely his top 2 receiving weapons to go over. So they would then go over their lines as well. Very, very surface level, right? There's many different ways to correlate with unders and punts in the NFL. Like yesterday, that was actually the slip I had did on YouTube right here. We had overs and quarterbacks and a couple receivers, and then we also had unders and punts. There wasn't a punt in that game, which is absolutely wild. But yeah, that's just another way to correlate here in NFL college football, right? Two of the more highly correlated sports along with soccer, because of course, the soccer with the goalies, and then NFL and college football with the quarterbacks. They really drive this correlation. So let's go ahead and look at the Oregon-Washington slip on Underdog and see what we are going to be rooting on here in this slip. Looks like we are going to be taking both of the quarterbacks overs. Let's talk about the Oregon side of things first. I'll go ahead and get Bo Nix. Bo Nix. Over 322.5 pass yards. That's just a crazy, absurd line, but it's college football and it's two high-flying offenses here. That's what we're going to be rooting on. A bunch of offense. These teams be moving the ball up and down the field, kind of much like their first matchup whenever they played. And then if Bo Nix is going to go over passing yards at 322.5, it's likely that Bucky Irving is going to go over 4 receptions, and Troy Franklin is going to go over 6.5 receptions. So we are looking for a lot of a passing game here for Oregon. That's what we're going to be rooting on, over 4 receptions, which is correlated with pass yards, right? And then Franklin to go over 6.5. So when I say it's correlated with passing yards, of course, if these guys are catching 5 balls and 7 balls, it's likely helping Bo Nix go over 322.5 pass yards if they're catching that many balls. So it is positively correlated. And if Bo Nix is going over 322.5 pass yards, it's probably likely he's throwing to these guys, right? So let's go ahead and look to the Washington side of things. Michael Penix Jr. over 298.5, and then Romeo. I always want to say Romeo. Rome Odunze over 6 receptions. So on the flip side of things, looks like we're looking at a little bit of a shootout, which with these two offenses sign me up. Odunze over 6 receptions. So if he's going 7 receptions, that's obviously helping Penix go over 298.5 pass yards. So positively correlated. And what I want to talk about as we head into the PrizePicks slip for Michigan, Iowa. So they don't have the sports books oftentimes don't have a lot of these college football player props to make up all of these slips. But if you were to go ahead and play, let's just talk about this. This NFL slip, basically, I removed punts and I added more wide receivers to go over, right? This is a good example. I added more wide receivers to go over with these quarterbacks overs and took out the punts because the sports books don't offer punts. The payout difference between that slip and me playing it on PrizePicks, $100 would have won you $2,500. $100 on a same game parlay on that same thing would have won you like $1,700. So like almost an $800 difference just for going 6 of 6. You would have been missing out on $800 if you played this same slip over there on FanDuel or DraftKings, because they're docking your payout because they know it's positively correlated. They know there's an edge when playing these plays together. These plays are more likely to hit when played together. Therefore, they dock the payout. But on FanDuel or on PrizePicks and Underdog, they don't dock the payouts, and that's why it's such a huge edge, especially over the long term, playing these exact slips over here on these set payout platforms. Okay, and then as we head over to the Michigan-Iowa slip, you guys got to also think about the insurance on PrizePicks in a 6-man flex. That's what we're going to be playing. The other one is a 5-man non-insured on Underdog, just so you guys know. But the 6-man flex here, Michigan versus Iowa, you also have insurance. 5 of 6 on a $100 slip, you win 2x. And then 4 of 6, you get 0.4 your money back. On those same game parlays, not only are you getting less of a max payout, you're getting way less of a max payout, you're also not getting insurance. If you go 5 of 6 or 4 of 6, see ya, there goes your money. You have to go 6 of 6 to win over there. So insane, absolutely insane getting to play these over here on these apps. let's go ahead and reveal Michigan versus Iowa. All right, let's see what we have here. Let's break down the correlation. So this one's a little bit different, right? So it looks like we are going to be taking Iowa's quarterback over 104 pass yards. That is just an absurd line. But we all know Iowa, obviously a pretty solid defensive team, not the most best offensive team. However, still very, very positively correlated and a chance to hit via this slip. So Deacon Hill over pass yards, and then on the Iowa side of things, let's stick with that. Nico Raggiani, I believe it's pronounced. I'm not quite sure. It looks maybe Italian. I don't know. Either way, to go over 25.5 receiving yards, that's like a quarter of the quarterback's passing yards. So we can, already got Deacon. We can go ahead and add now Nico to go over receiving yards. Bada bing, bada boom. And still on that side, it looks like Caleb Johnson to go over rushing yards. Caleb Johnson over rushing yards. So we got 3 players on Iowa. Looks like they're rooting on them to go over their offensive categories, essentially. One of the running backs to go over rush yards. We're looking at quarterback and one of the receiving threats to go over receiving yards and pass yards. So on the flip side, J.J. McCarthy over 193.5 pass yards. And if he's going over 193.5 pass yards, it's likely that Cornelius Johnson is going to have at least 3 catches, but we're looking for 4 to obviously cash out for the full potential of this slip. 3 could be a push, but let's go ahead and, over in receptions. So, like I said, these aren't always so cookie cutter and cut and dry of what is highly correlated. Just taking quarterbacks overs and receivers overs, it's not always that simple. Our tool literally pulls the most highly correlated slips that are possible with a very good profit margin, obviously, in correlation score across these DFS apps to give you the best ones and the most highly correlated ones. Now, look, we have if J.J. McCarthy and Cornelius Johnson are going over their receiving totals, looks like Michigan might be running the ball a little less, right? Blake Corum, high rush line of 93.5. Probably going to go under rush yards if they are moving the ball through the air a decent amount. So let's go ahead and add Corum Blake Corum under 93.5 rush yards. All right, so that is going to be the PrizePicks slip here. The edge, guys. Being able to play these slips in general on these DFS apps without getting a docked payout is nuts. Plus, on PrizePicks, you also get the insurance. It's absolutely insane we get to do this. Make sure you guys are taking advantage of this. One of the biggest edges in DFS right now. Our tool is up 562.6 units, and that's not even counting last night's. I don't believe we've updated this for last night's. Maybe we have. I don't believe it has for sure. But either way, as you guys can see, the results of correlation betting here on PrizePicks, Underdog, etc. are really, really good. You guys can go to the website, get access to all these tools here at Daily Grind Fantasy, or just check out the correlation performance. You can actually look at that for free. Sign up for the newsletter if you guys aren't already. And best of luck at tailing. We'll see you in the next one. Let's cash.